Welcome to Topper Talk, your number one Western Kentucky athletics podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Moffitt, and I'm joined by co-host Tyler Bailey. Hilltopper Nation, whether it's happening on the hill or on the road, grab those red towels, stand up and cheer, because it's up next on Topper Talk. Welcome back, and thank you for downloading and listening to another episode of Topper Talk Podcast. As always, you can follow us on all the social medias, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. Just search Topper Talk Podcast. You'll find us. We're there. Like, subscribe, and review all the episodes. Share the links. Tell a friend. As always, I've got Tyler here with me. Tyler, you ready to jump into this episode?
Yeah, man. Let's chop this thing up and get it put in.
Before we get into the main part of the segment, let's talk about our sponsor, and that is the Fireman Moving Company. They are the official moving company of WKU Athletics. Not only can they be trusted to move all the coaches in and out of Western, but they can move you anywhere nationwide. The Fireman Moving Company is owned and operated by firemen and is founded by WKU alumni. If you're looking to move sometime soon, give them a call at 270-791-1755 and get yourself a free quote. Save yourself time. It'll be worth every dollar you spend. Those guys will get you moved fast, efficient, and for a fair price, I promise you. I've used them before in my past, before they sponsored us, and now they're a sponsor, and I definitely will back them. They are worth every penny that you will spend. Now, before we jump into the main segment of this episode, which is previewing our games against Louisiana Tech and Jacksonville State, let's get caught up on the Red Towel wrap-up, which catches us up with all the athletics we've missed since we last recorded. So, Tyler, hit us with that Red Towel wrap-up.
All right, so on February 1st, women's basketball lost 81-87 to Sam Houston State University. The following day, tennis picked up a dub versus Southeast Missouri at a score of 5-2. Also on that same day, track and field competed at the Bellarmine Classic. Nick Fornoff had a personal record in the high jump, finishing fourth at 1.95 meters. Grace Turner finished second in the high jump at a 1.70 meters, finishing behind WKU's own Katie Eisenbarger, who was competing unattached. Ayla Basic, she finished third in the weight throw at 18.61 meters. Full results can be found on WKUsports.com. WKU Volleyball announced signing of Rutgers grad transfer Madison Chitty. Welcome to the Hill, Madison. On 2-3, women's basketball dropped a ugly game at MTSU to a final score of 48-80. Women's tennis lost at Lipscomb with a score of 2-5. Malachi Corley was named to the top wide receiver on the Senior Bowl national team. That's great news. The full 2024 WKU football schedule was released. No FIU, but we did add Kennesaw State opening at Bama on the August 31st. Will be interesting, but they ain't got no Saban, so I'm counting that in as a dub, as I told you earlier. MTSU week 3 should be great weather and attendance, and we'll probably hook up a Blue Raider pod for that. Alternating home and away all season, which I do kind of like. I wish we had more home games, but Toledo is a sneaky good out-of-conference opponent, and on the road versus top Conference USA teams from 2023. Also, homecoming will have to either be super early with Toledo on 9/21 or late again on 11/16 versus La Tech. So who knows? Maybe the Pirates at B can sometimes get this October slate done with the Thursday and Wednesday games, because that may help some people, but as a college football fan, you just can't have games on Thursdays and Wednesdays, if you ask me. That wraps up this Red Towel wrap-up. Moff, back to you.
Yeah, as always, another good one. Hate to hear about women's basketball taking a couple losses there. They've kind of been taking a slide backwards of late. Lost some tough games. Sam Houston and Middle Tennessee, which is just a really good basketball team. Tennis with a win and a loss. Track and field competed in a single-day event. Had a couple PRs in there. WKU volleyball, signing a great graduate transfer, always good. That's going to help the team continue to be great. Then that football schedule. I mean, obviously we'll preview and deep dive into that, closer to August. As we do our position breakdowns after the spring. But yeah, just a really good Red Towel wrap up. Now we jump into the main segment, which is previewing our game upcoming versus Louisiana Tech. We travel to Ruston, Louisiana this Wednesday, February 7th, for a 6 p.m. game on ESPN Plus against Louisiana Tech. We enter the game with a record of 15-7. We're 4-4 in the conference. Louisiana Tech is 16-6 overall and 6-1 in the conference. The ESPN Power Index really likes Louisiana Tech to win this game, a 90.9% chance. So 9.1% chance for Western Kentucky to get this win. I believe it's been something like eight plus years, I think, since we've won a basketball game in Ruston. It's been a long time. This really kind of feels like an uphill battle. Just winning road games has been rare in Conference USA. I think there's only been 4 road game victories in the entire Conference USA conference schedule so far this year. So it is an uphill battle. That's kind of the reason for that just heavy underdog status there. Louisiana Tech's number 1 in the conference right now. They're 6-1. We're kind of I think we're 4th right now at 4-4. So Tyler, how does this game and this matchup feel to you just on paper?
Well, I can actually tell you when the last time we won down there at Ruston, because I looked it up. We played down there 6 times. Our overall record at La Tech is 5-8, and that goes back to '92. But the last time we won at Ruston was Thursday, January 19th. No, I'm sorry. Saturday, February 1st. Sorry again. Thursday, January 29th in the season of 97-98. So it's been a extremely long time since we have won down there at Ruston. That is a hard place to play. La Tech is led by 3 scorers. It's a 3-headed beast. You got Isaiah Crawford, Daniel Bacho, and Talik Chavez. Talik is definitely going to be your more going to be the guy who's probably going to pull up from the 3-point behind the 3-point arc. He has attempted 142 and he's hit 60 of them, which is good for 42.3% from the 3-point line. He's also shooting 76.1% from the free throw line, and from the field, he's shooting 43.4%. He averages 28.6 minutes. He's averaging 13 points per game. We're definitely going to have to keep an eye on him and Daniel, because Daniel Bacho, he's also their leading rebounder, and he's averaging 10.5 rebounds per game. 58% from the field, 65.3% from the free throw, and he hasn't hit. He's attempted 2 3-point shots all season, and he ain't hit one. So hopefully he don't just decide, the night we play him is going to be the night that he decides to just light it up from behind the arc. I can see it happening. I hope he don't. I think this is going to be a real fast game. With a real high pace offense on both teams. They're averaging 12.4 turnovers per game. We definitely got to stay below that. But yeah, as we said earlier, Ruston is an extremely hard place for us to play, for almost any team to play and to win. And this team, Isaiah Crawford, he is well known. I think he was picked Conference Player of the Year preseason. So definitely, and he's averaging 15.8 points per game, 5.9 rebounds, 42.4% from 3-point land, 51.2% from the free throw or from field goal, and 73% from the 73% from the free throw line. We definitely going to have to hopefully. And I'll mention this later in my keys of victory, but we got to keep an eye on maybe some other players, because that has bit us in the ass here these last couple games, where a bench player just decides to have a historic night for whatever reason. But definitely got to play good defense, and hopefully we'll come out there with a win.
Yeah, I find it interesting when I was looking at their schedule. They're 16-6 on the season. They've lost those 6 games by a combined 22 points. So they've been in some nail biters. They could have a lot better record than 16-6. Now that they've got in conference play, they're kind of just blowing through people. But their leading scorer is Isaiah Crawford. He's number 22 on the roster. He's a 6'6", 200-pound senior forward. Like you mentioned, he was voted the Conference USA preseason player of the year before the season began. He's averaging 15.8 points per game, as well as 5.9 rebounds per game, 1.6 blocks per game, and 2 steals per game. So he just kind of does it all. He's just a very talented player. Feels like he's been there forever, but he's definitely going to impact this game. We've got to find a way to slow him down. Their leading rebounder is number 13, Daniel Batcho. He's a 6'11", 235-pound junior. He averages 10.5 rebounds per game, 15 points per game, and 2.4 blocks per game. So again, can score the ball. Obviously is around the rim, a lot of rebounds. Defensively, 6'11", he's a big boy. He's getting some block shots. So definitely going to pose some problems for Babacar and Rodney, and obviously in the guards trying to drive the lane. So you got to be aware of where he is at all times. And then their leading passer is number 4, Sean Newman Jr. He's a 6'1", 160-pound sophomore. He averages 5.2 assists per game to go along with 7.1 points per game. So, really balanced team. I found it interesting when I was looking at, their leading stat getters that, even though Isaiah Crawford is their leading scorer, he had only led their team in scoring 7 of their 22 games. You mentioned the other guys, Bacho and Chavez, that had also stepped up and led them in scoring. It was just interesting. It seems like they have a multiple people that can step up and lead them in scoring on any given night. Then in the rebound department, it's kind of saying Bacho and Magnum, but their point guard there, lead them in assists, is always kind of the guy distributing the ball. So they're obviously a very talented team, very tough team. They're good at home. Ruston has been tough for us to play. It's been tough for anybody to play this year. And they're a good team. It's going to be an uphill battle. Let's look at the teams. We're averaging 80.7 points per game. Louisiana Tech is averaging 76.2. We're giving up 74.8 points per game, while Louisiana Tech is only giving up 62.7 points per game. To me, that's going to be kind of the number one indicator of how this game goes. They hold people to 14 points less than what they score per game. So defensively, they are stout. I don't know if they're full court, if they're applying pressure, cause a lot of turnovers. I didn't see that in the statistics, but just it looks like with their down low presence that they're just very sticky. They're going to make life hard to score baskets. Field goal percentage wise, we shoot a little bit better than them, almost full percent. Rebounds, almost even. Assists, basically even. Then they average almost, 1.8 blocks per game more than we do. So again, kind of highlights that defensive intensity, that aggressiveness. If you're going to score near the bucket, it's going to be hard. You're going to have to earn it. I don't want this to have to turn into a 3-point shooting contest because we've been hot and cold in that department. But, it sounds like they have some rim protection, and it could be difficult to get points in the paint. So, Tyler, before we jump into our keys to victory in this game, what are your thoughts on the players to watch for, and just anything else we want to highlight about Louisiana Tech before we match up?
Well, I'd like to also mention Tyler Henry. He's a guard. He is the player on the team that has taken the second most 3-point attempts. He's hit 19. He's taken 62. So, he's shooting 30.6%. Devin Ree, he is shooting 51.3% from the 3-point land, but he's only attempted 39. He's hit 20 of them. So you may want to keep an eye on Devin Ree, because if he ain't starting, which he may be, I'd hate for him to have to come. Tyler Henry's probably definitely coming off that bench, and you look at New Mexico State. They had a player who He attempted, I think, 10 3-pointers on the season. He hit one. He came in to diddle, and he decided to have a historic night for himself. All right, La Tech they've attempted, this is another thing. La Tech has attempted 525 free throws on the season. They've only made 364. You look at us, we have attempted, hang on real quick, let me get to my full team statistics here. We have attempted 451 and we hit 312. So they're not really getting to the free throw line, or they're getting to the free throw line just about as much as we are. Actually, they've attempted more. They just ain't hitting them. So maybe that can play to our benefit. I looked at earlier, they played, I think it was FIU, and they were 100%, 12 of 12. So, I mean, they're probably going to try to be aggressive and get to the free throw line. We got to play smart defense without fouling, especially with Isaiah Crawford down there since he is 6'6", and Daniel Bacho. Like I said, he is shooting 65.3% from the free throw line. So if he gets there, I mean, he may make it, he may not, but I'd still rather not risk it. Sean Newman Jr., he's a guard, the leading assist giver. He is averaging, or his free throw percentage is 81.3%. 29.4% from the 3-point line, and he's on the field goal. He's shooting 36.8%. He's definitely going to be one that passes the ball around, but I still think we'll be able to handle him because, like you said, he's only averaging 7.1 points per game. Devin Reed's averaging 6.6 points per game, and Tyler Henry is averaging 5.9. I mean, this team, I don't know, man. It's like you said, Isaiah Crawford is only leading the scores in the games in 7 of the games. We're just going to have to play great defense this entire 40 minutes while we're down there.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be an all-around effort. Another thing I found interesting was that in 4 of their last 5 games, they have beaten teams by 13 points, 17 points, 20 points, and 40 points. So they're not just squeaking by Conference USA opponents. They're pulling away. They beat FIU by 40, 93-53. Granted, we played FIU and we had our best offensive showing. We know they can be very hot and cold as far as an offense, and obviously they were cold. But I'm sure some of that had to do with La Tech's defense as well. So, just a really interesting team. It just seems like they're really balanced, have a lot of guys that can contribute. And like you said, it's going to take a full, total team effort defensively to slow them down. And we're going to have to play smart on the defensive side of the ball and not be fouling. And that's always a key to victory. Don't foul. Don't put them on the free throw line. We can't turn the ball over. Now, speaking of keys to victory, let's jump into our keys to victory to go down to Ruston and get this upset victory. So, Tyler, what's your first key to victory?
It's just what we was talking about, play lockdown defense. We're definitely going to have to shut down their 3 leading scorers and also make sure they can't get no easy shots around the basket. Definitely going to have to win the points in the paint battle and just come down there and dominate the paint and, the half court, if that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I think we have to take care of the ball. We have to value the ball. I think points are going to be a premium. If we're going to win this game, we have to score as many as we can. I mean, we can't afford to turn the ball over 15 to 18 to 20 times and try to steal a victory on the road. That just doesn't happen. We need to have a performance like we had against MTSU when we had just very low. We have 9 turnovers that game. Then we're efficient on the offensive side of the ball. Both of those things have to balance out to just having a really good game, both defensively and offensively. Take care of the ball, score points. That's basketball 101. Outscore them, but you can't give them easy turnover opportunities to go down and get a quick, fast break point. So definitely take care of the ball, win the turnover battle. What's your second key to victory?
Play under control. It kind of like going to what you were saying, but don't be turning the ball over. It's probably going to be a fast-paced game. Play as fast as you can, but don't be making careless mistakes. Just throwing that ball away and giving them extra points or extra chances to get points.
I think we're going to need our big guys and even, the Brandon Newmans and Dante Allens of the world who kind of showed up last game with a lot of good rebounds, good strong rebounds. I think we're going to need those guys to really help us win the rebound battle. We both average 39.9 and 40 rebounds per game. Both of us are pretty much dead even in rebounds per game that we gather. But we're going to have to, that's, to me, that's a hustle stat. That's an effort stat. How you're doing on the glass. We have got to out rebound them. That's extra possessions, that's securing the ball, that's getting it up the court and going the other way. We have to out rebound, and it's going to take a total team effort because they've got several 2-3 guys that can do it. We generally only play one big at a time. It's going to be Babacar, it's going to be Rodney. But then we also have guards that are capable of rebounding as well. So we are going to have to be very aggressive on the glass and not get out rebounded, not let them have extra offensive rebounds and extra possessions. Because second shots go in. That's what they do. If you get a second shot, it's going to go in. It's going to be a better attempt. And, we have to avoid that at all costs. So win the rebounding battle. What's your third key to victory?
I alluded to earlier, don't let a bench player have a record night. If you look back at MTSU game, they had Jordan's. He had 22 points coming off the bench. The game before that, you had Sam Houston. They had a bench player come out, and like I mentioned, he was just draining threes, and I think he had like 12, 13 points in the first half. We got to limit that. If we're doing that to Isaiah, Bacho, and Talik, Chavez and Sean Newman, we can't be letting someone else come in there and just gouge us with points and really hurting us on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think being smart, just playing smart basketball. So my third key to victory is our bigs have to be as effective as their bigs. We know they've got a couple guys that are very effective. Rodney and Bob are going to be tested. And they've had very good games the last 3 or 4 games. I'm very proud of how our bigs have played. They've really stepped up and been really efficient. I think we need that to continue on the road. We need to take the pressure off some of those guards and that shooting. If the bigs are playing well back to the basket and getting good points in the paint, that opens things up for those kick out threes later in the game. So I think our bigs need to have just a really solid game and kind of wash out what Crawford and Bacho do in this game. Tyler, who is your MVT, your most valuable topper versus Louisiana Tech?
I'm going to go with Tyrone Marshall. Woo. I feel like he's probably going to be given the task of defending Isaiah Crawford. And I would like to see him have a big offensive output in this game. Kind of have some more highlight dunks, ESPN top 10 worthy dunks, and definitely some defensive plays, blocks in this game.
I'm taking a different path, and I'm not going with my usual suspect. I'm not going with Don, even though I hope and pray that Don has a good and really great game. But I'm going to go with one of our big guys, and I'm going to go with Rodney Howard. I want to show him a little love because he has been ultra efficient the last 2 or 3 games. He's had he's stacking great games. I think he had 16, 17 points this last game versus MTSU. He's been really efficient from the field. His back to the basket and footwork has just been very improved from what we saw early in this season where he was missing a lot of baskets close to the goal. So, I think we need him to be effective, not only offensively, but defensively as well. So if Rodney has a big game, a good game, I think that's an additional score that could help us, pull this upset off. What's your score prediction versus Louisiana Tech?
All right, so I went with 78-75. Tops pull it out in a Tums tosser.
Hey, red glasses. We're gonna wear them. I think there's a chance that we can win. I think it's it might be 9.1% chance like ESPN gives us, but I think there's definitely a chance we can pull this game. We're going to have to play our best game of the season. We've seen us do it offensively versus FIU. We've seen us do it defensively versus MTSU. We're going to have to put both of those performances together and have our best full 40 minutes of play that we have played this year, because we haven't done well on the road this year. No team in Conference USA has done well on the road this year. But to play our best game, to get this win, I'm right there with you. I'm going to wear those glasses as well. I got it a 77-76 Hilltopper victory, pulling an upset, winning in Ruston for the first time in a long time, and kind of giving ourselves a chance to move up the pecking order of the Conference USA standings, as we're currently in fourth or in first. We're 2.5 games behind them. We have 2 games left against them. So, if we fall another game behind them with a loss, that number 1 seed is all but gone. So let's start with a win on Wednesday in Ruston. And then we look forward to the rematch, part 2, the Jacksonville State game. We are playing them this Saturday on February 10th at 4 p.m. on ESPN Plus. This is a return game. We previously played them and beat them here at Dental Arena 80-69 back on January 13th. Welcome back to Dental Arena, Ray Harper. Have fun. Go back home with this L. Jacksonville State currently stands at 11-12 on the season. They are 3-5 in Conference USA play. They play Sam Houston State on Thursday before our matchup on Saturday. Now, the ESPN Power Index favors Jacksonville State 67% to 33% for us. And most of that, in my opinion, without knowing the exact metrics of the ESPN Power Index, most of that to me just feels like we're on the road, we're favored to lose. Just like La Tech, number 1 in the conference, we're favored to lose. If we were at home, I feel like that would be flip-flopped. I could be wrong. I still like our chances. But, Tyler, how does this rematch with Jacksonville State and obviously the fighting Ray Harpers, how does that look to you?
Well, I feel like Ray Harper's definitely going to try to slow the game down and run at their pace. He knows that, he played us for in Diddle. I feel like he thinks that he can't run with us. The team ain't built like that. They're still relying on Kiki to get most of their buckets. He's scoring 18.6 points per game, shooting 43.8% field goal, 88% from free throw, and 39.8% from three-point land. I just don't feel like, you shut him down, you shut Purdue down. Purdue is scoring 8.4 points per game, also getting 5.9 rebounds per game, shooting 70.4% free throw, 43.8% from field goal, and 34% from the three-point, which, it's one thing that surprised me whenever we played him the first time. You saw Purdue come out there and he hit, how many, I'm looking it up, he hit 1 of 3 during that game. But, you look at Brigham Jr., he come off the bench, he scored 12 for him. Kiki scored 25, Brigham Jr. scored 12. He scored most of his within 3-point line, within the 3-point arc. He shot 0-1 from beyond the 3-point and 4-7 from inside. So I feel like, to me, this is still a victory for the Tops, but because they're still they're averaging only 70.5 points per game and giving up 64.7. So I still like for us to win this game against Jacksonville State, but it's definitely going to be something, a tempo that we ain't used to playing, and we're definitely going. I'm going to get to this later, but we definitely got to play our pace play in this game.
Yeah, the key focus of this game is definitely going to be their leading scorer. That's number 24, Kiki Tandy. We had a front row seat to him here at Diddle. He's a 6'2", 190-pound senior guard. He is averaging 18.6 points per game. He is literally the head of the snake of this team. He takes more than half of their field goal attempts. The offense is going to run through him. He's going to get his points. It might take 40 shots to get his points, but he's going to get his points and he's going to get his shots up. So focusing in and keying on him like we did last time with Christian Lander is going to be key to this game. Their leading rebounder is number 2, Jawan Purdue. He's a 6'6", 200-pound senior. He's averaging 5.9 rebounds per game. Then their leading passer is number 1, Quincy Clark. He's a 6'4", 195-pound junior. He's averaging 2.8 assists per game. Like you said, Jacksonville State is averaging 70.5 points per game. They're allowing 64.7, and their shooting, rebounding, and passing stats are all worse than ours. So I really like the chance of us, pulling off this road upset, this road victory. They have lost 4 of their last 5 games. So, no better time than now. Let's go to Ray's house and let's spoil the party. So, Tyler, how does this team and this matchup, with all these stats and players, how does this all feel to you for this rematch?
I think it bodes well for us. We did play, even with us playing them in Ditto, I feel like we'd beat them at neutral court or at their place. Just because, yes, Kiki scored 25 points, but other than that, like I said, the only person that really hurt us was Brigham Jr. Quincy Clark, he's our leading scorer, scoring 8.9 points per game. He actually came off the bench. I just feel like we should be able to handle them. Ron Howard and Babacar, down low, taking care of business. Marshall on the wing and just coming in. I feel like this should be just an easy win. And we know what Ray Harper's going to do. Like I said, he's going to try to slow it down, muck it up, play the half-court offense. We definitely got to take them out of that, and we got to control the tempo.
All right, that being said, let's jump into some keys to victory. What do we have to do to go down to Jacksonville State and pull off what is, on paper, an upset victory? What's your first key to victory?
Slow down Kiki Tandy. Slow down that leading scorer, leading shot producer. I mean, the guy has attempted 336 shots, field goals. He's made 147. The next Quincy Clark, the next leading scorer, he's attempted 194 field goals and he's only hit 79. After that, it goes down Jawan Purdue, 144 field goals attempted. He's only made 63. So you cut the head off the snake, the rest of it's going to follow, and the rest of it's not going to do very good.
Yeah, like you said, I think we have to make somebody else beat you. I mean, Kiki Tandy, like I said earlier, he's going to get his. We saw that last game when they were here at Diddle. Like, he's a very good scorer. He's going to make tough baskets. He's going to make good shots. He's a solid transfer pickup for them. He's going to get points. You're not going to hold him to single digits more than likely. He's going to get 15, 20 plus because he's the guy that's looking to take every shot for them. Nearly every time down the court, he's got the green light. He's going to shoot. So what we have to do, we have to slow him down, make life tough for him, make every basket that he earns just be tough. Exactly what we did last game here at Diddle. Christian Lander was harassing him the whole game. Granted, he got 25 points, but it was on, a lot of shots. It was not an efficient 25 points. He had to work for it. He had a great first half and then just kind of slowed down in the second half. So make somebody else beat you, slow him down, make him work for every point that he gets. What's your second key to victory?
Before I say that, I'm going to tell you how many shots he took in this last game. He took 21 shots. 21 shots of their Jacksonville State's 57 shots. So, you're right. You shut him down. The rest of it's gravy. My second one is, like I said earlier, play our pace. They're going to try to slow it down and make the game a half-court affair. We got to speed them up, make them force some turnovers, and we got to play fast but under control.
Yeah, I feel like I sound like a broken record, but we have to take care of the ball. We cannot turn it over 18, 19, 20 times, being 25+% of our possessions, and just have empty possessions. That's what whether they're a missed shot or whether it's a turnover, it's an empty possession that you're not even having an attempt to score points. You're giving the ball to their team, they're going the other way. So take care of turnovers, take care of the ball, value the ball, then that's going to give us a much better chance to win this game. What's your third key to victory versus Jacksonville State?
Don't fall in love with the 3-pointer early on. The last 2 games that we played, FIU and MTSU. I mean, we have scored a crap ton of points in the paint. So I'd like to see us continue that. And then whenever we start making the easy shots, you start building that confidence up. You go out there and start draining threes.
Yeah, I really like that because we've seen games where we've taken a lot of threes, and I don't consider us a 3-point shooting team. And sometimes it's kind of a gift and a curse. You start getting on a roll and you make a lot of threes, you start jacking up a lot more of them. I think versus MTSU we took like 19 of them, and it was efficient. It's within the flow of the offense. It's not forcing shots, not rushing shots, just guys taking smart shots. But I'm right there with you. I think our big guys need to be very productive because I think it opens up the game for the perimeter players, the Dante Allens, the Brandon Newmans, the Christian Landers if he comes back for this game. Obviously, Don McHenry, having the best game of his life, hopefully, on the road. We need a couple good games from him. So I think the bigs need to continue to be efficient and just impose their will like they have been, because I think it's going to unlock the rest of the offense for this team. What is who is your MBT versus Jacksonville State?
I'm going to go with Brandon Newman. He scored 25 points in this last game. Granted, he didn't score at all versus MTSU, but I'm looking for him to have another big game this time down there in Jack State.
Give me Old Faithful. Give me Don McHenry. Give me old Don, point guard 1. I think if Kiki is the head of their snake, Don is the head of ours. He is our leading scorer for a reason. He can score from all 3 levels. He can get to the hole, mid-range. He showed he had a heat check versus MTSU coming down and scoring, the first 17 points of the second half. So, once he gets on a roll, once he gets his confidence up and just starts seeing that ball go in the hole, it starts opening up to, as big as, a hula hoop for him. So, Don is a very streaky player. He's a very confident player, and I think he's going to be the key to our success, in every game. But I think especially life on the road, you need a consistent bucket and somebody that can just go score for you, because it can be tough on the road. What is your score prediction versus Jacksonville State?
Well, surprise, surprise. The Tops win 77-65 in this matchup.
I've heard that if the Tops win, you win, and we're lit, baby. So I'm right there with you. Tops are going to get a victory. We are going to get off the road game over in conference. We're going to go on a little road game winning streak, and we are going to do it in, I would say, convincing fashion. We're going to score 78 points. Jacksonville State's going to score a nice 69 points, and we're going to get this win. We're going to give Ray Harper 0 for 2. Welcome to Conference USA. And that's just how it is. Sorry, Kiki Tandy. You're going to take 30 shots and score 22 points. Calling it right now. That's how it's going to be. It's not going to be efficient, but Hilltoppers are going to figure it out. I think we're playing better basketball. We've lost some tough games. I think we all know that we've lost games that we should have won. We lost games that we could have won. And as we go forward now into, closing in on the middle of February, into February and March, looking at the conference tournament, we need to be playing our best basketball. We need guys to be getting healthy. We talked about Christian Lander being out several games now. If and when he comes back for this road series, we want him to be healthy and effective as we make that march towards the end of the conference play season and traveling down to Huntsville. So I'm excited for it. I think there's no better time than now to reverse our road game woes. I think we're going to do that. And I'm confident we're going to do that just because Steve Lutz and his staff are just very detailed and meticulous in our preparation. And I think we've got the guys to do it. I think we're just as good as Louisiana Tech. I think they're a very good team. I highly respect them and know that winning on the road is tough, but we can beat them. Same with Jacksonville State. I think we should, can, and will beat them. And I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait to watch it. Tyler, give us your final words and take us on out of here.
Well, I mean, I'm just going to echo what you said. Yeah, I think we have the team. We got the steam because it's a big old Western's Day to go down there. And what they did against a lot with that ESPN Power Index with La Tech, where they only gave us 9% chance to win, I take that personal. Granted, yes, Conference USA is hard to win on the road, but that's just kind of disrespectful. And they are 16 or they only lost one game in conference play, but screw them. I mean, they ain't nothing. I mean, it's about time we can go down there and we can beat them. We beat better teams than them before. So screw you, La Tech, Jacksonville State, Ray Harper. You can't. Whenever you was here at Western, yes, you did a good job. But you've lived long enough to see yourself become the bad guy in my eyes. There's no reason why we can't beat Jacksonville State. You shut down Key. You shut down one dude on the bench who's going to have the hottest night of his life. You maybe limit him to 10, 12 points like we did earlier. And it's going to be a victory for us. Yeah, I wear my red colored glasses, but I feel like I should. We do have a great team. We got Enoch, McHenry, Allen. Hopefully Lander does come back. It's been a while since he's played. I hope the kid's doing good. We got Tyrone Marshall. We got Newman. I mean, we have a good team here, and the future is still ahead of us. We still got the rest of conference play, and we still got Conference USA tournament. I am expecting us to make it to the NCAA tournament this year. So go Tops, and with that, I will say, Moff, who has it better than us, man?
Nobody. Always, you know it.
Nobody. Go Tops.
Go Tops. Later, guys.
See you.